Hi folks, Adrian Fry here, and it's lockdown, so what can you do indoors to help you understand the feel of the correct golf swing? Well, I'm alluding to an article I did recently in Today's Golfer, how you can just use a simple coat hanger to help you understand the phases of the swing, and also the most important bit, the moment of truth impact. So just with a simple one, ideally with a flat side like so, it helps you form the grip correctly because it folds it more into the fingers. Notice how my lead wrist is just touching the inside of the hanger here. This creates this little kink in the left wrist. Then with the trail hand or the bottom hand, we can feed that into the fingers. So immediately this sets up the correct relationship of your hands for what we class as a traditional or neutral grip, not being too strong or too weak. Then we want to move into the motion of the swing, the phases of what those wrists and arms are going to do during the swing. So having formed the correct grip, remember the coat hanger is really representing what the club and the club face and shaft do through the swing and what your arms and wrists are going to do in the correct motion. Initially, we move everything away, what you call in old money, the one-piece takeaway. So you're moving to this 8 o'clock position, largely moved by the bigger muscles, and the hands are quiet at this stage. But we've got to get the club up the correct plane, we've got to form some angles that we're going to use and dispense during and through impact to create some speed. So, having got to the 8 o'clock position, then we start to collect some angles in the wrists, and there's a little bit of forearm rotation as well. Now, of course, if you're on the internet today, you'll hear lots of fancy words, extension, flexion, ulnar and deviate radiation and so on. They sound quite complicated. We used to call it bowing or cupping, which is probably more expressive, but when you see top players with a neutralish grip and a neutral action, the wrist will go into this sort of look here. So the right wrist here is extended, we call it back, and this one is more flexed. If you see Dustin Johnson, he's in this very flex position. Other players you might see in this extended position, but flex is a fancy word for bowing and cupping, extension through the golf ball. So, but from your point of view, one piece to here, then fold it back. Now you'll notice that the hanger is on the underside of my arm. I've not let it peel away. If I did that with the golf club, that would certainly get the club face in an open position if you were using a neutral grip. We don't want the toe too much down like this, because as it's coming down into impact, you're going to have to do a lot of work to square that at impact. Conversely, if you're like Mr. Johnson and you've got the club face very strong, you really need to make sure your body's working very hard, otherwise that club face might overtake the hands too early and you're going to be hitting it left. So bear in mind, these top players are very athletic and have very powerful body actions, and golf for everybody on the planet is a combination of swinging your arms and turning your body. Admittedly, there's some shifts in the body as well, but you've got to get that blend right. So this is very relevant to the skill level you're at, and very relevant that you're matching your wrist conditions and your release pattern to the grip and the club face orientation you have. What all top players have the ability to do, and it doesn't matter whether it's Bobby Jones or Ben Hogan or the top players today and Tiger Woods and Rory, is they have the ability to arrange the club face at speed with their given grip and release pattern. That's called controlling the golf ball. They're certainly not all doing the same thing. So back to the coat hanger, as I say, form the grip, get to your 8 o'clock position, then you're going to fold it up. You're trying to form this nice triangle between your arms and the forearms and the hanger here. Notice the trail wrist here is just folded. From here we can bring the club back down the correct plane, the angle it's intended to be used on, without tipping the hanger up or tilting the hanger underneath here. So we're letting that hanger drop with a little shift of the weight, and then we want to move into impact, what we call a strong impact position. We might call it an inline condition, whatever you wear. The lead arm and the shaft and the club and the hanger here are all in line. This is nice and stable, it's not too wishy-washy, too flippy, losing control of the club face. Now again, as I said, that depends on your skill level. If you're tending to leave that club face, or the hanger open in this case, you may have to get more release, more extension here as they call it through the ball, letting those wrists go. And certainly all professionals have learnt that and forgotten it. There's no doubt about it. If they've played at an early age, they know how to release the club, and often they're talking about calming their hands down because they do have plenty of speed. Many amateurs may need a little bit more speed in the hands, but whatever happens, you're trying to match up your body with the release of the club. Ideally, again, getting back to the hanger, we're into this nice solid position, and then notice how it rotates in harmony with my body. It's rotating together, then ultimately into the correct finish. Now what you see here in the backswing is pretty symmetrically opposite in the through swing. So you'll notice the club's come, or the hanger has come back out on plane. This left wrist, or front wrist here, is folded, and the trail wrist has folded over again into this nice flat position. So if you can literally just simply at home get from here to here and stop on the occasional one at impact where you're in this nice strong position, get the feel of this position and through, that's really going to help you get the feel of what the correct phases of motion are in the golf swing.